Does anyone remember how OP spears were in Dark Souls 1? Let's see if they're still OP in Dark Souls 3. And the difference this time around is that all the skill moves are absolutely lethal. I love that one there. This is my favourite one here. This is the Tailbone Spear. It does this. It's the only weapon that does this. That's amazing. So there's some amazing moves with the spears. There are also spears like this, which does, yep, 46 damage at +7. I wouldn't recommend that one. So this video is going to show the best way to utilize the spear PvE and the best way to utilize it PvP. Now this suits my playstyle, so it's going to be my opinion, but let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree. And yeah, so let's get into it. Now this is just me playing around with the different spears to find out which ones I wanted to try out. For the PvE side of things, very quickly, the spear is the only weapon I've found so far where my playstyle has had to change completely between PvE and PvP. In PvE, you can use the shield and the spear together like this all day long, and you can get through the game if you're a cautious player. But when it comes to PvP, I find that with the shield, you'll see very soon, it just doesn't work. Not for me anyway. So for PvE, if you're starting out, the shield and the spear is a very good class to start with for the cautious approach, where you're not giving too much away and you get the block and attack at exactly the same time just by managing your endurance. Okay, so that's it for the PvE. Don't want to dwell too much more on that, because if you're a cautious player, as I say, use this. Now let's get into some PvP and find out how I think the best way to use it is, and what I think the best spear is, which might be a surprise. So first off, small shield against small weapon with Dark Moon Blade attached to it. Look at my stamina. He tears through that and then tears through me very quickly. Didn't like it with the small shield. Tried it with the big shield. Tried to tank up a little bit. I know I'm in the wrong armor, but the shield still doesn't do very much, especially against big weapons. And in PvP, you do come up against big weapons quite a bit, and just standing there and taking the damage just doesn't work in this Dark Souls. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. So this is the first guy again with a big shield, thinking this is going to work, but look at that, look at the stamina. 5 hits, my stamina's down, and my stamina is 174 at this point. So this is just a snippet. I did about 10-12 fights, and using the shield and the spear like you would do in PvE, in PvP, just does not work. So I had to come up with a different approach. Let's stop losing. Let's get into a couple more fights. So I reverted back to type, back to Dark Souls 1. Stick on all the stamina, regeneration stuff you can find. Stick the shield on your back and jump about like a lunatic, spamming R1. What I really mean is reading the enemy's attacks, and then whenever they run out of stamina, get a few hits in. And I try it with a couple of different weapons just to see the effects. So this is the Partisan +9 with the Dark Moon Blade on it. Gives about 540 odd damage. And I love that skill move, but it doesn't take up much energy. It's not very powerful. Back to the good old Dragon Slayer Spear, the Dark Souls 1 staple. Fighting this guy, which I fought a couple of times in this video. I must have fought him maybe 10 times. And it was good to have, because we come up against a lot of these people PvP, I find. And getting hit 2 or 3 times with that is normally the end. So here you can see I do get a little bit lucky. But you deserve a bit of luck in Dark Souls, don't you? You may notice that the glittering omission from this video is the non-use of the Dragon Slayer Sword Spear. It's because the Dragon Slayer Sword Spear is one of the most OP weapons in the game, and I've seen a lot of videos on it. And if you want to see how that spear works, either go to Pontiff Sullivan's Bonfire. You'll always find the guys there. Or just look up, there's tons of videos on them. I thought I'd do a couple of spears that no one normally sees before. Look at this. I love that. I almost put that as my intro. So the last weapon I tried out is called the Tailbone Spear, which in itself isn't really that hard to find. You get an Aerophil dungeon, just from those big dog enemies that jump out at you. And what makes it so good is the special. The special is called Unleashed Dragon. Now, if I get my guide out here, right, Unleashed Dragon, I have no idea what it means, but it sounds good. And as you can see in this fight here, it is completely OP. Let me get it out. Here we go. Okay. Unleash Dragon. Thrust the spear to unleash the strength of dragons. Similar to an ancient dragon weapon, only with its power tragically faded. Nothing tragic about it. As I said, I don't know what that means, but for some reason it always hits, and when it does hit, it takes up 200 to 300 damage, and no one seems to be able to do anything about it. I mean, this guy's a good player. He beat my ass a lot, but as you see here, for some reason this weapon just keeps working, so I thought I'll give it another go against another player with a great sword, which is great because again we come up against these enemies a lot in Dark Souls 3. So, in conclusion, my thoughts on the Spear class are they're not as OP as Dark Souls 1, they're not as fast as they used to be, and they do take up more stamina per hit. But in saying that, if you get the timing right, and if you're out in PvP and you ditch the shield and get the R1 spam going, you will win. And remember, in Dark Souls, it's all about winning first. There's no points for glory. It's about winning. No points for style either. It's just about getting the thing done. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If it helped you in any way, please let me know. If it didn't help you in any way, let me know. Any spears I missed, let me know that as well. And what I'll do, I'll finish off with a bit of a fail that I did, trying to chase somebody down. I thought I could hit him on the stairs. I didn't. So leave you with that. Thanks for watching. Catch you again.